Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We all know Scotland is nearly bankrupt. The SNP have destroyed the economy, they've overspent on vanity projects left, right and centre, and there is not enough money left to run anything. The police forces are being underfunded, the NHS is underfunded, social care is underfunded, everywhere is underfunded. And yet they can afford to find this money left, right and centre for all these wonderful things that they think is more important. Well, on top of all this terrible problems that they have in terms of budgeting, and they've got £1 billion black hole, they've decided that the most important thing they can do is to create a few more of these Tzar roles, as they call them, so that they can create some jobs for their mates and pay them lots and lots of money. You know, £16.6 million going out for 7 new people into the public purse to be paid for. Their chums are about to get very, very rich because you can guarantee they'll appoint people they know. Oh, we've got this position now, we've created this position. Would you like to come and earn some money for doing nothing? That's fine. Meanwhile, everything else, NHS, social care, you name it, falling apart. But at least they've got lots of public money for their mates. Let's have a look and see why you should be very, very angry. Here goes. Right, so as I say, they keep pleading poverty, they keep pleading they've got to close this, they've got to shut that. They're taking millions out of the police, they're taking millions out of the NHS, they're taking millions out of education. However, cash strapped as they are, poor as they are about to double the number of Tzars in Scotland. That is, these commissioners for various things that get sat there on public expense costing millions because, they've got to create a job for one. Oh, my wife needs a job. You think, oh, yeah, no worries, we'll create a job. 150,000 a year enough? That's what they're doing. So, cash-trapped SNP government to spend millions on doubling the number of Tzars in Scotland, as I said. Despite major struggles with Scotland's finances, SNP ministers are still exploring plans to double the amount of commissioners in the country, adding to the current £16.6 million a year cost. There's Nicola Killeen, who's now the newly appointed, or about to be the newly appointed, Children's Commissioner for Scotland. But, why? Why do we need one of these? Why do we need a commissioner? The cash-strapped Scottish Government are set to spend millions of pounds on doubling the number of well-paid Tzars in Scotland. Proposals have been outlined to introduce 7 more commissioners, funded by the public purse, adding to the 7 roles which have already been created. Last month, MSPs voted to create Patient Safety Commissioner, which will cost the taxpayer £645,000 a year. Setting up the office alone will cost £150,000, and with staff and administration costs included in that total. They will join the 7 other Tzars, which have been introduced in Scotland, where they examine matters including ethical standards and children's issues. And this huge spend comes as the SNP executive struggle with a potential £1 billion black hole amid proposals to hike up taxes and cut services. So they're putting taxes up, they're cutting services, they're spending £8.5 million a month on spin doctors, they're maintaining foreign embassies, they're spending millions a year on independence, which they don't even have a mandate for. And now they're going to spend another, on top of the 16 million they're currently spending each year, they're going to probably double that because somebody's wife needs a job. No wonder they've got £1 billion black hole. It's no wonder at all. What they're doing is misuse of public funds. Why do these jobs need to be created and who will fill them? Cronies, that's who'll fill them. They're mates. They're mates from the pub. That is who is going to get these jobs. The Finance Committee at Holyrood have warned about the rising costs of introducing more commissioners, especially after one hired 7 staff on an average salary of £57,000 a year at a time when frontline services are under real pressure. You can't afford to pay £20,000 a year for care assistants, but you can get your mate in to do nothing in an office for £57,000 a year, and you can get 7 of them to do nothing for £57,000 a year. but you can't afford to hire care staff. Already, senior SNP figures have warned that they need to make tough decisions regarding the government budget for next year. But not tough decisions on them. No. Tough decisions on you. Tough decisions on your granny. Tough decisions on your kids. Tough decisions on the vulnerable. But not tough decisions for them. They still need 5 or 6 people working for them at £50,000 a year. They still need chauffeur-driven this. They need flights there everywhere else. Oh yeah, the tough decisions are only for the hoi polloi. They're not for the likes of the 1%ers and the elite. The elite will not go hungry, believe you me. Mr Gibson suggested that ministers should look at axing some commissioners. I would suggest axing all of them. If they already have succeeded or failed in their aims, and they would need to grasp the nettle in these assessments. According to the Times, he said they should examine the possibility that some commissioners, after they've achieved the mission they were originally set up to achieve, can become self-perpetuating. Yeah, in other words, you give them a job to do, they've done the job, and then they stay in at public expense because they don't want to be fired. No. Just get rid of them. Get rid of them. We already have enough people on the public expense to pass these positions on to people that's already employed. Get rid of the commissioners, save what's going to be now £30 million a year. He says we should perhaps look at the sunset alarms or rising cost of Tzars clauses for some commissioners. Otherwise we'll simply have more and more as years pass by. And the Finance Committee will examine the increase of commissioners in the autumn. Well, you can guarantee they'll pass it and it will go up. You know, like I say, it's somebody's chum needs a job, you know. Currently, there are Tzars for ethical standards in public life, biometrics, children and young, human rights, plus an information commissioner, a public services ombudsman and the Standards Commission for Scotland. Individual budgets for each office holder ranges now 338 for the Standards Commissioner to 6.7 million for Scottish Public Services Ombudsman. Jackson Carlisle, former Scottish Tory leader, hid out at the MSPs for abandoning the courage of our convictions, he said, between 2007 and 2011 by rolling back on plans to reduce the number of commissioners from 5. Back in 2011 they said we're cutting from 5, it's now 7, and it's now going to double to 14 commissioners. He said we would be creating by stealth a new level of government in Scotland. In a way, we're devolving responsibilities away from ourselves as parliamentarians. We should be very cautious about the overall effect of that, he says. I believe it's time to remove all layers of government in Scotland except for local councils. Leave that where it goes. Get rid of the SNP government. Get rid of the Scottish Assembly. All it does is wank public money away on their mates. That's 7 more jobs, and you can guarantee it won't be jobs that you or I or anyone else can apply for. They will already have been sorted out. Oh yeah, somebody's missus. There's my mate down the pub. There's a guy I know. That's who it'll be. Commissioners are currently being considered for victims, patient safety, older people, well-being and sustainable development. And there's also proposals for one on learning disability, autism and neurodiversity, one on women, LGB conversion practices and one for future generations. These aren't jobs. This is just things that they can give money to people they like for no reason. What kind of job do you get being a commissioner for LGBT conversion practices? What does that involve? What's your safety metric? What's your conversion metrics? What's your failure metrics? Why do we need them? They can't justify these. They just can't. But what they can justify is the need for their mate to get a job. That's what this is. The Scottish Government said, we will engage constructively with the Scottish Parliamentary Corporate Body to ensure that all parliamentary commissioners are funded appropriately. They should be. They should be funded to the point of £0 per year forever. We will fulfil the recommendations made in the Cumberledge report that created for the creation of a patient safety commissioner, and it should be independent of government and the NHS. But it won't be. They never are, because they're always somebody's chum. They're always there under the wing. You know, there's always pressure to be brought on them. They're not stupid, these people. It's a load of crap, isn't it? And that's millions upon millions of pounds of public money that could be spent elsewhere on things that actually matter. On things that people need. Who the hell needs a commissioner on LGBT conversion therapy? What kind of fucking job is that? I'm coming up. It's quite clear to see that these people have never run a business. Any business run like the way the SNP runs Scotland would be crashing, burning and bankrupt in a week. You never spend money unless you absolutely positively have to spend money. And when you do spend money, you spend it in the most efficient way possible. And you get the best you can buy. Because if you buy cheap, you buy twice. Run a government like that and the country is going to be in a lot better position. But that's not how they run it. It's all for them. Basically a criminal organisation for them to scam out of the taxpayer as much as they can get before they're found out. And, you know, and then they get out of jail free. They'll never be investigated. They're all crooks, every single one of them. And that is why they want to increase these commissioners, so they can continue their crooked ways with their mates. And their mates probably have to give them 10% for getting the job. You know how these things work. It is an absolute... It's just organised crime. It is literally, that's all the SNP now, is organised crime with a dedication to a scorched earth policy across Scotland, because they know they're going to lose and they want to destroy everything. They're making it a failed state, and it is no less corrupt than anything else, like Uganda, like Zimbabwe, like any failed state. Haiti, it's no different. That's Scotland. Look at Haiti now. Armed gangs are basically acting as the law and order keepers in Haiti because the government is so failed. And that is where Scotland is going. Corrupt and criminal. I'll stop now. Thank you very much for watching. And God, we need to change things. If you like what you see in here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. And for heaven's sake, vote these buggers out before they destroy everything. Bye.